Good morrow, my fellow freaks and weirdos. I'm Tom and welcome to Monster Gab, where we love to talk about classic and vintage horror. Now, when I first set this channel up, the first few videos that I made were basically just me showing you my not so vast but humble collection of horror movies on DVD. And since then, I've added a few more DVDs to my collection, so I thought I'd do a little update. In those earlier videos, I do explain why I'm still collecting DVDs in this day and age when everyone's streaming. I'm not going to go into it again. If you want to watch those videos, I'll leave a link in the bottom of this one. Otherwise, let's get on with it. Right, let's get this out of the way then. The sooner we get this done, the sooner I can go back and play on my Nintendo. So the first DVD I want to show you is Stephen King's The Shining, not to be mistaken with Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece. Now, some of you may have seen this featured in one of my other videos before. I'll leave a link in the description where I compare it alongside Stanley Kubrick's film. And I say that like I've got loads of viewers, because honestly, up until this video, I think I've got about 54 subscribers. And let's face it, most of them are friends and family who have subscribed out of sympathy and don't watch my content. So let's just move along, shall we? I've also bought Pumpkinhead because honestly I consider this to be quite a cult classic, and alongside it I've bought Pumpkinhead 2, which I've never seen and I still haven't done up until this point. I mean, I've heard it's not great and I've heard there are other sequels that are worse, but I am actually looking forward to seeing Pumpkinhead 2, and you never know, maybe I'll do a review sometime in the future. I've got a couple of real retro ones here, probably more sci-fi than horror, but I've got Village of the Damned and its kind of sequel, Children of the Damned. And I say kind of because it's not really a true sequel. I'd probably say it's more of a spiritual sequel. They're very similar movies, but not quite the same. Basically, alien children with superpowers, etc, etc. Like I said, more of a B-movie sci-fi, but excellent films. I really enjoyed watching these. I hadn't seen them before until recently, but I picked this up and it's a great little box set. Got the cases here as well. The artwork's not anything to be you know, mesmerized by, but you know, great little films. Glad to have them in my collection. And a movie that I can't believe I didn't have in my collection up until now is one of my favourite films, Night of the Demon, which I recently learned is based on the book Casting the Runes by M.R. James. I actually did a review on some ghost stories by M.R. James recently, and again I will put a link in the description, but this film is an absolute classic and quite iconic in a way too. I won't go into it in full detail, but again, I'm really surprised that up until now I didn't own this film because I absolutely love it. It's a brilliant movie. I also bought the Lost Boys trilogy, and you can see here by the seal I actually haven't opened it yet. I have seen the first one a couple of times before and it is a brilliant film, but I haven't seen its sequels. I think I've seen the second one once, but I can't remember what happens in it. But really pleased to have this in my collection. It's been well overdue, and alongside it I actually bought the Lost Boys soundtrack because let's face it, it's got a fantastic soundtrack. Anyone that's seen the film will agree, I'm pretty sure. It's an absolute fantastic movie, or at least the first one anyway. Especially with that saxophone moment, and you know what I'm talking about, guys, you know. And I got a really nice little box set here, the Vintage Chiller and Thriller collection, and I love how it states on the top that it's a mildly terrifying collection. You know, really selling it to us, guys, because yeah, we don't want to be purely terrified, just mildly. But it's a great little collection. As it states, they are very vintage films. Some of them are in black and white. But the biggest reason I got this is for films like the Trollenberg Terror. I absolutely love that film. It's more sci-fi than horror, but it definitely has elements. And Blood of the Vampire, which really does feel like a Hammer film at times. In fact, I could believe it was a Hammer film if someone tried to convince me well enough. And other films in there like The House in Marsh Road is also a fairly decent film. There's a couple of stinkers in here, but honestly, overall, it's not a bad collection, and it wasn't too expensive either. Or was it? I can't remember. Most of these films I think are shown on Talking Pictures TV, it states up there, which is like a Freeview channel. And I've watched some of these films on that channel, but honestly, they're always full of commercial breaks and it drives me mad. I understand it's a free channel and it's got to pay for itself somehow, but it really does split movies up. So I'm glad to have it in a DVD box set. So this next DVD is actually a bootleg, so I'm officially a pirate now. But this is Mystery of the Wax Museum, which I received as a Christmas gift, so I thought I'd show it. But it's one of those famous, blue discs on the back there. So yeah, it is a copy, but it works fine, plays fine. I don't traditionally buy copied DVDs, but like I said, I received it as a gift, and it's not a bad little film. It's more of a mystery film, but I did mention it briefly in a review I did on Waxwork. Again, I will leave a link in the description for the review of that film if you wish to view it. Help me out, guys. Come on, I need some views, I need some subscribers. And finally, I've added Salem's Lot to my collection, which is a 2-part mini-series based on the Stephen King novel. And honestly, I really, really enjoyed this film. It's a bit dated in parts, and there are moments where it doesn't hold up, but honestly it's mostly quite enjoyable, and I quite enjoy the characters. I will say though that I prefer part 1 to part 2, despite the fact that part 2 is where all the action happens. I think it's just kind of the backstories of the characters in part 1 that I enjoy the most. But great little addition to my collection, and I'm pleased to have it. And that's about it. Right guys, I can't be bothered turning the camera around, so I'm just going to show you Kelly the Skelly there. There we go, something to look at while I finish this video off. So you know the drill. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new video here on Monster Gab. Like the video if you did indeed like it, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. Let me know what DVDs you've got in your collection, if you still have a DVD collection. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care, see you soon. Bye bye.